Hello my dear students, welcome to my class. In the previous chapter, we have learned that the body of any living organism is composed of cells. We have studied in details about the cells which are also known as the fundamental units of life. There exists a diverse variety of organisms around us. If you observe around you, you can see various types of organisms, that is different types of plants as well as animals. These animals or plants may be both unicellular and multicellular. In case of unicellular organisms such as amoeba, paramecium, chlamydomonas, chlorella, etc., all the basic functions of life like respiration, digestion, excretion are carried out by single cell. We have discussed about this in previous chapter that all the basic functions of life like respiration or breathing, digestion, digestion or nutrition, excretion means removal of waste from the body. These are carried out by single cell. Whereas in case of multicellular organisms whose complex body is composed of billions of cells, the same basic functions are performed by different groups of cells in an organized manner. A group of cells can work together and hence are specialized to perform a function. Here you can see the picture of plant tissue as well as animal tissue. In multicellular organisms, a group of similar cells that work together to perform a specific function is called as a tissue. A group of cells can work together and hence these are specialized to perform a function. For example, in case of animals, here you can see the picture of animal cells, smooth muscle cells. These muscle cells contract and relax to cause movement. When I am talking to you, there is movement of the muscle cells of my mouth as well as my tongue. You know that tongue is also a muscle. Nerve cells carry messages. Now you can hear me. It is possible because of the cells of the ear, nerve cells. They are sending message to the brain. So these nerve cells carry messages. The blood flows to carry or transport different materials to different organs and so on. Means these vital activities are going on inside the bodies of all the animals because of these animal tissues. In case of plants, the vascular system conducts food and water from one part of the plant to its other plant. Here you can see the vascular system, the vascular tissues, xylem and phloem, as well as there are ground tissues, dermal tissues, that is epidermis, etc. What are tissues? In simple terms, tissues can be defined as a group of cells with similar shape and function, and these are termed as tissues. How will you define tissues? Tissues can be defined as a group of cells with similar shape and function. These are called as tissues. Tissues form a cellular organizational level, intermediate between the cells and organ system. Organs are then created by combining the functional groups of tissues. Now you know very well what are tissues. Tissues are the group of cells with similar shape and function. These are known as the tissues. One of the students asked me the question, why there are so many cells present in our body if single cell can perform all the functions, as in case of the unicellular organism. See, if there is a single cell, it has less exposure. You know that cells are continuously interacting with their environment. So for this, many number of tissues are required as the organism becomes complex. Now, why are plants and animals made up of different types of tissues? You know the differences between plants as well as animals. The plants and animals are two different types of organisms. Plants are autotrophic. Autotrophic means they are able to make their own food with the help of sunlight. Plants are autotrophic organisms, so they prepare their own food by photosynthesis. Moreover, plants are stationary or fixed organisms. You know that plants are fixed at one place. So these are said to be the stationary organisms. Since plants do not consume or need much energy, so most of the tissues of plants are supportive. You know that plants are stationary or fixed. They can't move like the animals. They can't go from one place to other. So they need very less energy. They consume or need very less energy. So most of the tissues of plants are supportive. Most of the tissues such as xylem, phloem, sclerenchyma and cork, these are the dead tissues. That is, they do not contain living protoplasm. We will discuss about these tissues in detail in the next sessions. Animals, on the other hand, these are heterotrophic organisms. What are heterotrophic organisms? The organisms which cannot prepare their own food. They are dependent on the other organisms or autotrophs. These are called as heterotrophs. Animals have to move in search of food, mate and shelter. Mate or partner as well as shelter. So animals need more energy as compared to the plants. Most of these tissues contain living protoplasm. See the major difference between the plant tissues and the animal tissues. Plant tissues do not contain living protoplasm because they are supportive in function. The plants are fixed at one place, so their protoplasm is dead. They are made up of dead tissues, while animals are moving. So animals need the living protoplasm. There are some tissues in plants which divide throughout the life. They divide for the growth and reproduction of the plants. The growth in plants is not uniform. In contrast to plants, growth in animals is uniform and it is restricted to the certain period of life. The plants are growing or dividing throughout their life. But in case of animals, the growth stops at the particular age. Let us compare between plant tissues and animal tissues. In case of plants, dead supportive tissues are more abundant as compared as to the living tissues. Why there are more dead and supportive tissues? Because they are fixed at one place. In case of multicellular animal, the living tissues are more common as compared to dead tissues. The animals have very few dead tissues. Plant tissues, they require less maintenance energy as they are autotrophic and they can make their own food. While animal tissues, they require more maintenance energy as they are heterotrophic, they have to move in search of food. There is differentiation of tissues into meristematic and permanent tissues, which are localized in certain regions of plants based on their dividing capacity. In plants, mainly there are meristematic and permanent types of tissues. These are localized in certain regions of plant based on their dividing capacity. Such differentiation is absent in animals because growth is uniform in animals. Due to the activity of meristematic tissues, plants continue to grow throughout their life, while animals do not show growth after reaching maturity. Reparative growth is however present. Reparative growth means if any part gets damaged, then it gets repaired. We will be studying this in detail in the topic animal tissues. The organization of plant tissues is very simple. The organization of animal tissues is very complex with the development of more specialized and localized organs and organ systems. The tissue organization in case of plants is meant for stationary habit of the plant, stationary or fixed at one place. While tissue organization is targeted towards high mobility of animals in case of animal tissues. So these are the major differences between the plant and the animal tissues. Here you can see the various types of tissues found in the plants. Dermal tissue, vascular tissue, ground tissues. Here you can see the vascular tissues, xylem, phloem, then dermal tissues, epidermis means the tissues of skin, mesophyll, etc. So these are the various kinds of tissues. In plants mainly two types of tissues are there, meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. While in case of animals mainly four types of tissues are there, connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle tissue and nervous tissue. In the next video, we will be studying about the plant tissues part 1. In this part, we will study about the meristematic tissues in the plants. Thank you.